Greetings, Pyraxis here. It's a beautiful late October morning, and I thought we would take a little walk today to one of my favorite areas to explore and try to get some leaf peeping in. It's getting kind of the end of the cycle, so you know there's still some pretty color out there, but the peak only lasts for like 2 weeks at the most, so, and I'm right in the middle of that, so I figured we'd go ahead and just take a little walk just outside of the yard. And but before we go, I wanted to show you a little something here. We got a little buddy of mine. He's got a favorite little spot that he likes to, hang out in. I don't know if you can see him there. Whoop. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, he's been hanging out here by my garden for quite a while, and he's got his little spot there that he likes to go in, and I just thought, well, since he was there, I'd just take a few pictures of him. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready and head out to the trail. It's only across the street over here, but hopefully we'll see some nice colors. So, okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm here by the entrance to the trail that I go down, and there's a little bit of color here. We got right up there, I think that's a sugar maple. Got some yellow and orange in it. And we've got here, nice little sumac trees, got some nice bright red. Ooh, goodness gracious, these rocks. Not too much color here. This is the older growth forest part. Sassafras tree, getting some different colors in there. We got a dogwood here. They all look kind of scraggly, but I know once we get back in the back down here where there's more different kinds of maples and a few oak, and then there's the sourwoods, which usually have really cool colors. We got to start seeing some more interesting colors back here. Like I said, right now it's this is the older growth forest, and it's not as diverse as where we're going right back in there. It's funny how some of the, like that sumac over there, I believe that's a sumac, could be a tree of heaven, but it's still green. And then this one over here, that little one there is just about done. So I guess it just depends on how much shade and everything they get. But I'm gonna just get around this mud here, see if I can avoid getting too messy, and turn it back on once we get to the open area there. So, okay. Oops. Okay, well, I'm actually not quite out of the woods yet. Sorry for the pun. But I just noticed something that I hadn't noticed on all my walks before. Something I've been looking for in my particular area for quite some time now. For some reason in this area, sassafras trees don't seem to get as big as in other places. So here you can see we've got one little sassafras right there. It seems to be growing, it's pretty good. But then you look right over here, and that one right there with the golden yellow brownish leaves, that's a sassafras too, and it's really big for this area. That's the largest one I found around here yet. So it's kind of interesting to me that that they do exist here. But also we got nice, looks like some kind of red oak, and then we've got this nice maple here, and I think these are cottonwoods right here. I'm pretty sure that's what these are, mature cottonwoods. I don't think they're big tooth aspen. I'm pretty sure those are cottonwoods. And then we got another little sumac right up here. It's kind of got some red in it. Like I said, the older growth area. Here's another sassafras here, little one. Or no, I'm sorry, that's an oak. I saw the one leaf here. I thought that was one of the mitten things. So, no, that's actually an oak. Probably a blackjack oak. As I said in previous videos, I'm not too great with differentiating between the different oaks. I mean, I can tell shingle oak like that one there. And that's what this is too. I can tell those, no problem, because I have one in my yard. But a lot of the other ones, I just have no idea. Then we got part of the mine subsidence there. That goes down quite a ways. There's a bunch of those little holes, and just something interesting. And here's that sumac. I just wanted to get a little closer and get a better picture of it. It's not quite as brilliant as I would hope, but it doesn't seem to be the best year for fall colors around here in my area. But you know, it's still awful pretty. So let's see. I'll wait until we get to the open area. Maybe it'll be nicer down. Okay, had a little trouble with the camera here, but I think I got it sorted out. We're here at the little crossroads. I just came out of the heavy part of the woods right here. This goes back towards the road on the other side. Usually I see some deer around here, but I guess they must have heard me coming. Most of the leaves on this area have all dropped off, but you can still see a little bit of the golds and I don't know. There's some black tupelo in here and some mostly cherries and sycamore, so not too much color there. But yeah, so you can see already a lot of these trees have lost their leaves, which is kind of sad. I was hoping for better color, but nice sycamore there. There is one spot right down here. This is where it starts opening up, where the old coal extraction took place. And there's usually a few nice little beginning trees here. Like here's a little maple that's got some nice color to it. Got a nice little mix of reds, greens, and yellows. Particularly interesting to me is how this one, when I was here a few days ago, it had like a two-tone leaf pattern, which you can still see some of them. Still has some of the two-tone leaf patterns going on here, but it's got some nice pretty, you know, this is probably a red maple. It's got some nice color here to it, but it's just a little guy. But that goes back down into the deeper woods. Actually a transition from the open area to the woods. A lot of little, I planted a bunch of pawpaws in here. Hopefully they'll come up. But here's one of the first sourwoods too. Its color's not as great, but it's got the seed pods that used to be the pretty flowers. First little pine tree growing here too. And nice little mix all right in here as it starts to open up. You got different kind of pines. You've got a lot of sycamores along this little ridge right here. You've got some kind of little oak there. There's a shingle oak, and I think that's a red oak, I'm pretty sure. And we got a black locust, and right in this section you just got a whole big mix of different kind of trees. Like I said, shingle oak, sycamore, looks like a redbud tree. Not quite sure, or maybe that's an aspen. Yeah, I think that's one of the big tooth aspens. And we got a little maple here. We got us a nice little, this is a little winged sumac, another oak. Like I said, right in this particular area, you just got a huge mix of all kinds of different little different trees, because you got some gray birch. Here's a little gray birch right here. So yeah, once it starts opening up, it gets all kinds of different stuff here. I got a little blueberry bush here, a whole bunch of blueberry all back in here. There's some more. But let's get around the corner here and see if there's any colors there. Well, as I get farther in, I'm noticing that most of the leaves and everything are gone on most of these trees. So I guess we kind of missed the peak, unfortunately, in this particular area. But as you can see, this is a kind of a big open area around me. Hope that sun isn't too bad, but yeah, as you can see, most of the leaves over here. There's some golds over there, a little bit of red in there. Most of these trees have already lost their leaves. I don't know what this tree is. It's got a nice shape to it, and got some kind of berries hanging from it. So maybe it's I don't know, a hawthorn or something. Little blueberries. I don't know what this tree is. I'll have to check it out. But you got a shingle oak there. We got a little bit of nice color right up in here. But yeah, like I said, this hasn't been the best year for fall colors for some reason. We just had a big rainstorm with a lot of wind and everything, and that's probably what blew a lot of these leaves off, because I came out here last week and it was a bit prettier than it is now. I don't know what that little red tree is right there. Maybe a little maple or something interesting. Bunch of trees and plants in this area though, because it's recovering, that I don't see most everywhere else. In fact, this is the only place I found wild blueberries. This is the only place I've seen sourwood trees. In fact, I didn't even know what sour trees were until I found them here. A lot of the aspens, the big tooth aspens, the gray birch, the ones that are more dominant here, I rarely find them anywhere in the older growth forest. I mean, there's still a lot of the more familiar ones, you know, like maple and the oaks. Maple, oaks, cherry, but there's a lot more pine trees in here too. I guess they're more opportunistic for the you know, the poor soil that's left over from here. We got a lot of grasses and stuff too, but unusually, it's unusual because we got a lot of crab apples and wild apples in here both. So maybe there was some, you know, homesteads or something back in here way back in the day, because I've found more crab apple and wild apple here than, goodness gracious, I found anywhere. In fact, right here in this open field there's a few. Probably can't tell, you know, what they are just by looking at them because most of the leaves are gone, but still, it's interesting. Now, two of the trees that I have yet to find, which I would love to find in this area, is a persimmon. I'd love to find American persimmon, wild, those, because apparently they grow in this region. Same with the sourwoods. This is like their northernmost range. And other than the persimmon, the other tree that I would like to find is oh God, it's like escaped my mind right now. What was it? Oh well, I'll remember later, of course. But yeah, I'd love to find some wild persimmon, but haven't found any around here. And I mean, there's a number of little black tupelo, which I didn't even know what those were before I found one here in the wild. Well, I guess since there's not that much color, unless there's something else that I come across, I'm just going to go ahead and close her down for now. So I just wanted to point out here, we got a nice little blueberry patch going on here with all these red little leaves. I was here picking a bunch of blueberries last, or you know, in the summer, and they actually linger on the bushes for a while. There's a bunch of them in these open areas. And these are all low bush blueberries. There's also high bush blueberries that grow, but I haven't found any of those around. I think if I remember right, they tend to like around lake shores and more moist places. These low bush berries seem to do really well in this depleted, you know, rocky, acidy soil. I do know that blueberries like a higher acid soil than most plants. So. And that's another thing. That's why I'd like to get some persimmons, because they like it on the acid side a little bit, and they like big open areas like this, as opposed to the pawpaws, which like the shade. So I'd love to find some persimmon trees and plant some in here. This would be ideal, I think, for some persimmon trees, because they get pretty dang big. But yeah, nice little area. Nice little sourwood tree here growing out in the open too. And I think another little scraggly Virginia pine. I'm not quite sure what kind of pine, but I'm going with Virginia. Yeah. Alright, we'll see what's around the next bend. Alright, well, I was noticing here, I'm thinking this little pine tree here, I'm thinking this one's a short leaf pine, because as you can see, this one here has got 3 leaves, or 3 needles in that cluster, and 2 needles in this cluster. So I am thinking that the shortleaf pine is one of the few that actually has that, if not the only one. So I'm going to guess that I've been trying to do a lot more reading, and pine trees are like difficult. But yeah, here's another. This one also got the 2 and 3. So I'm thinking this is a nice little stand of shortleaf pines. But then you got a different kind of pine right behind it. Either that or it's just older. That sun's making it a little hard. But yeah, the shape is different on these, unless it's just because it's older. But the needles look shorter too. So I'm thinking that these, and these look like they all have only 2 needles per cluster. And the cones are still on there, so I'm thinking that this one might be a Virginia pine. I mean, I know there's so many different kinds that grow back here, but yeah, you can see these needles are longer on these guys than that one there. So, and it's from what I've read, they do tend to you know, grow together like that in stands. But No, and I noticed that some of them are like a bluish green and other ones are like bright green. Maybe eventually someday I'll figure out this whole thing about pines, oaks, and maples, but yeah, we got a nice little stretch of colors in here. Not too bad, so yeah, a lot of little sourwoods still got the red in them, like here up close, and you got the aspens back there with the yellows. Back there I see some maples, some reds. So we got a little bit of color still left, but alright, well, we'll continue on, my friends. Alright, well here I just came across one of those wild apples I was telling you about. I think it's more of a wild apple and not a crab apple, because they are kind of bigger. But look at all those fruit on there. Oh my god. I tell you what, that's going to be good forage for the wildlife, because they tend to stay on the tree for quite a while. And oh, I guess all the squirrels, and if there's any grouse back in here, turkeys, you know, all the other little critters are probably gonna get some use out of that for nice forage. And now here we got a hickory tree too, which not too many hickories back in this particular area, but there's a few. Now that one's got the broad leaves, kind of like a shagbark, I guess, so, or a shellbark, shagbark. I get those two confused, but so yeah, this is getting more back into the older growth for us. We got a lot of larger sycamores here, a big shingle oak there, a lot of different stuff back here. A nice little pond we got. This is year-round water, so it's a good source of water for the wildlife, although people come back here with ATVs all the time and keep it muddy most of the time. But this is where some of that arrow leaf was growing. It's already too late now, it's gone. But yeah, there's not nearly as much nice color as I was hoping for, so maybe next year will be better. But yeah, even looking up at the hills, you know, you could look up at the mountains and there are spots in there that are just brilliant, but most of them not so much. As you can see, this wind blowing through here is just knocking the leaves off pretty fast. So yeah, I love fall. It's a beautiful time of the year. Unfortunately, it doesn't usually last all that long, but still it's nice because you can notice things in different seasons that you didn't notice before. Like here, I didn't even notice that little willow was back there. I mean, I've walked this trail several times, and that's the first time I've actually seen that little willow back there. It looks like maybe it was a weeping willow, but the trunk broke. So who knows? Nice little dogwood next to it, the pretty red color there. Beautiful sycamore back there behind it. And we got some kind of aspen here. That could be a quaking aspen or another cottonwood. The leaves are smaller, so I'm thinking it might be a quaking aspen. I know there's big tooth aspen. I'm pretty sure those old mature ones I had that I showed back there were cottonwood. Then we got a nice healthy looking apple tree right there. It's still green. And then next to that, a little ash tree, I think, or it could be a box elder. Most of the leaves are gone, so it's a little harder to tell. Here I got a little black locust with its thorns all right in front of me. Like I said, very nice mix in here. Since it's trying to come back, you know, I guess all these different species are competing. And as I said, there's a bunch of species here that I don't normally see anywhere else. And kind of hoping I'll be around a while to see it develop more. So, now that one, I'm not sure what that is. That thing's got some interesting branch structures, very dense. Not familiar with what it is, but a little sumac back here. Kind of wish we hadn't missed the colors. Another red oak there of some sort. Like I said, it just had a big rainstorm, so we got a lot of mud and puddles back here that I was hoping to avoid, but yeah. It gets back into another area that opens up down here, but this is definitely one of my favorite places to hike now, and it's right across the road, just because it is so unique and diverse in things that I don't normally see. So, yeah, a lot of different vines, a lot of different it's actually helped me to learn how to identify a bunch of different species that I never knew about. Looks like a little black walnut tree right here. I kind of like to see all the nut trees and the fruit producing trees, because I really like having the wildlife around. So, and you get all these, trees with different berries and different nuts on them, and it gets really nice whenever it gets, attracting the wildlife like that. That's why I planted some more pawpaws all back in here. There's another little apple tree. Like I said, there's tons of little apple trees back here, crab apple and regular. And there's some reed grass, pampas grass, I don't know what you call it, but probably not native, but it looks nice. Nice little sumac there. A lot of birch and aspen right in here, or some kind of poplar, poplar family aspen, cottonwood, Lombardy poplar, quaking aspen. Oh, yeah, nice little area. Another little sumac. I've been on most of these little back trails like that, and it's really around every corner there's something new. There's another little apple tree. This one's lost all of its leaves, so yeah, so I love that shimmery sound of the leaves. Aspen are great for that. They have those strange petioles that are flattened so their leaves wave back and forth. That's why they call the one kind quaking aspen. And I guess these gray birch are like that too. Yeah. Of course, you can tell the difference between gray and white birch because the bark's not peeling. Yeah, I guess we got a little bit of color back in here. Got some more pines starting up. I like these old scraggly ones. I think they're Virginia pine, but just like the oaks, I have a little trouble telling the pines apart too. Oh, there's a little bit of color in there. Nice red. That's a maple, I think, in front of us. I really like. Oh, that looks like a white pine. Yeah, it looks like a white pine next to a Virginia, or maybe a scrub pine or something. But like I said, I just love it because it's just a great diversity back here. After all the coal was extracted, they just kind of like left it to come back. I mean, whatever. I mean, it had to have been like 50 to 100 years since this, because when I was a kid there was no coal coming out of here, and I'm almost 60 years old. So, oh yeah, look at that beautiful maple right there. Oh, it just has little clumps, and we got some nice colors all back in here. Like I said, here's what I think is another maple. Oh my goodness, all this mud. Like I said, you can see the mounds here from the coal extraction. A bunch of smooth alder, I believe, all in here along the creek bed, because this is Muddy Run. Yeah, this is a maple, all right. Probably a red maple, or I don't know, the leaves look smaller than usual, so maybe it's a mure maple, or interesting. There's a few maples, like here's a silver maple right along the creek bed. Yeah. All right, well, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and shut the camera off and head on home. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little jaunt, but anyways, Pyraxis out. Have a great day.